Right.
Hello all, this is the fourth podcast thing that isn't a podcast. And today we have the lovely Scarlet Halton. Hello, Scarlet.
Hello.
Scarlet is studying at Guildhall as a jazz vocalist at the moment.
Indeed, yeah.
How is that? How is it being at one of the top
when you put it that way, it's like but it's great. It's really good, actually. I'm loving it. It's fantastic. I get to do a lot of things that I never expected to be able to do. For example, I've started playing bass.
Nice. It's the coolest instrument out there.
Playing bass though, not like really shittily playing bass, just like for anything I need to record or whatever. Like I've been playing in ensembles and learning how to walk and stuff, which is like, as in on bass. Which is
all your gigs.
Girls has been teaching me how to walk. It's ridiculous. Yeah. No. I've been learning bass, and I've been arranging for things, and I've just been encouraged to do loads of things outside of just the course itself, which is really cool. It's great there. Yeah.
That's insane, because your brother goes there as well. Your brother is how many? You're 3 years older than you? 2 years older than you?
3.5 years older than me.
3.5. Okay.
Yeah.
So how does it go to the same uni as your brother?
Well, I mean, we haven't been at school together since primary school, because obviously for secondary school, we were at two different schools. It was weird at first, actually, because I'd just walk into the foyer of Guildhall and then he'd just be there like every single day, and I'd just yell at him or something, just be like, Jonah, and he'd be like, fuck off. Like we just annoy each other, we just irritate each other all the time. But it's nice to have him there though, because we go and support each other at different gigs and concerts or whatever, recitals, and just right there, so we go and see each other all the time, which is nice.
That's cool. That's really cool, because obviously, like with like how we know each other, I should say we grew up in CMA Children's Music Academy, and you two knew each other quite from that as well, and well, obviously you're brother and sister, of course. So, so obviously you know each other, but like, I mean, you've basically spent like your life around each other, as in like outside of the house as well.
Yeah, big time. In almost everything really that we've done, we've always done really similar things. Like even productions we've done together, like actual musical theatre shows back in the day. And CMA, singing choir, going on tours together. Also music centre before the existence of CMA.
Before the split.
Dare I say it? Yeah. But yeah.
No, that's cool. But no, so all the opportunities that you've had at the moment. So obviously you said the arranging stuff, and then you've also, what was this competition that you won with the arrangement that you did? Explain that. I
will explain. So at Guildhall we have an a cappella group, really cool, I know. It's called the Concords, the Guildhall Concords.
Oh, I saw that.
Did you?
I think it did.
You might. There was loads of social media coverage for this. But so we have this sort of, it's like a jazz a cappella group. So we have jazz arrangements there's a tune, Moanin', I don't know if you know it. Every morning, Thursday morning. Don't know if you know that one. It's quite a famous like blues tune. So we did like an a cappella arrangement of that, a Stevie Wonder tune called Heaven Help Us All, and then I arranged the Irving Gordon tune, Unforgettable. I arranged it quite a while ago, actually, after my granny passed away, and then they listened to it, my group, and they were like, please, can we do it for the ICCAs, which is the International Competition of Collegiate A Cappella.
That is quite a mouthful.
Which is, it's a bit of a mouthful, but yeah, it's actually, if you've seen Pitch Perfect, it's what Pitch Perfect is based on.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So that's what we did, and it was a bit of a cultural wake-up call for me. It was an interesting one, not really my scene. You can imagine, like, you know what the people are like in Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
It's accurate, completely accurate. Like, they get so competitive about it, and it's literally like a bunch of people making weird noises into microphones in sync. and doing dance moves on stage. It's really strange, but it's fun. It's really good fun, especially when you get to sing good repertoire, which is what we do. So
Did you have dance moves as well?
Kind of. It wasn't like proper like all of this jazz hand shit.
No.
It was like sort of just like movement into different positions to make it actually interesting to watch as well as listen to. Because there were some groups that had like proper like choreography. Like there was a group that we saw and somebody did a backflip, and we still beat them. So yeah, it was great. There was a really interesting competition to watch because there were groups from unis all over the country. We had to just submit a video of us singing like 2 different tunes, and then they put us through to the quarterfinals. We got through. There's two people get through the quarterfinals to the finals from each area of the country, and then we did the semi-finals because the finals are in New York.
Wow.
But yeah, so we did the semi-finals, and one group gets through from the semi-finals, and that was us.
Oh.
We won by like 100 points, so it's a great victory actually. We were really proud of ourselves. But yeah, so we were meant to be going to New York, but alas, it's riddled with a virus, so probably not ideal.
No.
So we decided not to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was
now,
that.
Where was the competition held? It must have been quite big venues, was it?
Yeah, both of the rounds for us were in London. The first one was at the Clapham Grand, which is a sort of like weird theatre club space. Really strange. I think it turns into a club on like Saturday nights or something. It's pretty weird, but it was cool. It was a really cool space. And then the last one was the New Wimbledon Theatre, I think it was, which is a massive space actually. Really large stage, quite daunting. A lot of people in the audience. Like it was full. There was like, I don't know, thousands of people in there. So
that's mental.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And obviously going to Guildhall, because I remember going to CMA, that gave us, especially as teenagers and kids, the opportunity to play in huge places like the Albert Hall. I'm guessing Guildhall has also given you the opportunity to play and sing in like huge spaces, like
well, there is an opportunity with that, but we have our own like concert halls and stuff at Guildhall. Like we have 2 sort of concert halls. One of them is like a proper state-of-the-art concert hall, which is where a lot of the concerts take place. But because I'm on the jazz course, most of our gigs are in sort of like small bars because that's sort of how it's meant to be done. Like I don't really like watching jazz musicians play in really large spaces because the whole point of the art form itself is it's really intimate. So it just feels sort of unnatural watching them in like massive concert halls and stuff. But yeah, that's the thing. They sort of encourage us to play in like just the London jazz bars, really, the famous London jazz bars. Like Ronnie Scott's. I haven't played there yet actually, but a lot of people get gigs there just externally, like with groups they formed at Guildhall, not even through Guildhall. But there's lots of different venues like the Vortex or Old Street Records and loads of different sort of smaller places where we do some really cool gigs. But otherwise, the classical students, they get to do. My brother went to Paris like a couple of years ago. That's amazing. To do a concert. So yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
Those are some quite historical jazz names. Have you quite historical jazz names you got there for like all the venues and stuff. Have you ever been to New York to actually see anything?
I've been 3 times now, I think, to New York. Yeah. What, to sing anything, did you say, or to see anything?
To watch or perform like jazz, because New York is huge for jazz.
Oh my god, yeah, massive. But every time I've been there, well, actually, the last time I was there, I think I was 16. So it's 4 years ago now. Yeah, I'm a baby. So yeah, it wasn't that long ago, but I was a bit young to be going into jazz. Still technically too young to be going into jazz bars.
Yeah, to be fair.
So yeah, I've been there to perform once at Carnegie Hall actually. With do you know the composer Carl Jenkins?
I've heard the name, yeah.
Yeah, he does this sort of like epic cinematic, like orchestral crap, which I'm not necessarily a really big fan of, but yeah, people love it. And basically, our choir at school, back at Wickham High School, put up a video of us singing one of his pieces, and the agency that were looking for like the choir to sing found the video on YouTube, and they got in touch with my school and were like, do you want to come over to New York and do a gig at Carnegie Hall? And obviously we were like, fuck yeah. So we went, and it was really cool. It was great. But what really stood out for me was they had a couple solos here and there within the piece, and the conductor was like getting people to come up and audition for the solos and stuff. And I got one where I had to improvise and make like really weird noises, because it wasn't like improvisation in like the jazz sort of terms, like scatting. It was like it was like, I don't know, like some ethnic world music shit. So I had to be like, hey, like this kind of weird like thing. But I was like 15 at the time, and yeah, I had to do that in Carnegie Hall. That was my Carnegie Hall debut, making strange noises in front of thousands of people. So
that's insane. I remember we went to, as in, because you know my mum and dad because of Wickham High, and like because we went as a family to New York, and for Ollie's birthday, Ollie, my brother, we went, instead with the original plan was to go to Times Square, but obviously Times Square, New York, New Year's, this is like going as 2019. They have to queue up from like 2 p.m. to get in there for like midnight.
Yeah.
And but instead we just went to this little jazz club just off of Times Square, and we saw a big band. I can't remember what the venue was, and I can't remember.
The Blue Note?
Yeah, we just literally spent. Yeah, we went to several jazz clubs when we were out there.
Right.
We went to Dizzy's.
Oh, great!
Which is founded by Wynton Marsalis, to watch a trad jazz band.
Oh, sweet.
Which is wicked. But yeah, New York is insane, man. New York is absolutely
I've always
insane.
wanted to go and see the jazz scene there, because it is ridiculous. Like, some mates of mine have gone over and played in New York, and yeah, I'm so jealous. It just looks really, really cool. Just amazing musicians that play there. It is incredible, the standard, but yeah.
It's cool. Right, now let's go through the instruments that you actually play, because you do play a lot, don't you? And you're good at, and you're insane at all of them. You're insane.
Oh, no, I wouldn't say I'm insane at all of them at all. No, I like to think of it as a what's the phrase? Jack of all trades, but master of none. That's pretty much me, in my opinion. But
shut up, get on with it.
Right, what do you want to say? I don't know how much I can show you in here, but bass.
Yeah, you got your bass.
Voice.
Voice.
Keys. There's another bass there. What else? Bloody hell! Right.
You play drums.
Yes, drums indeed.
No, you play drums.
Just show guitar, drums.
Recorder.
I used to play saxophone, actually.
You still?
Can you still hear me? Sorry, I used to play saxophone back in the day, and I wasn't very good. Oh, my dog's here. Hello. You want to come and say hi?
Yes.
Right, listen out for this. He's probably going to growl when I pick him up, all right? Oh, no, he's not. Oh, great. Oh.
What's his name?
Oh.
Oh.
Oh dear.
He's a cute dog.
Yeah, he's a bit grumpy.
Seb's dog Bear does this thing when you blow raspberries.
Oh, he hates it.
Oh, really?
He hates it. He goes
every Christmas. Yeah. Oh, that.
He's not that.
Every Christmas, when you get wrapping paper, I get the really long cardboard tube, and I hide like outside the room and go. It fucking pisses him off so much.
I love that. They're so funny. Like little things that you say or do that just trigger something in their brain. Like certain words, like walk.
Yeah.
That's cruel.
Things like, oh yeah, it's quite harsh. Sorry, darling. Not right now. Maybe later.
Paddy, my parents' dog, has got this really weird thing. He just can't stand Paul Merton's voice, the comedian, and it's just Paul Merton.
What?
Like, if whenever we're watching, he just gets really on edge. He just starts running around and starts whining and stuff. Whenever we're watching Have I Got News for You, it's just he cannot stand Paul Merton's voice.
What?
No idea why. Puts him really on edge.
Really strange. What the fuck? Yeah, but
No
you
idea.
can make him growl on demand, and not in a harmful way, I promise. Like, you literally just touch his belly or something. He's not working right now. But there you go. Sort of like I used to trick my friends when I was like 13 or 14. They'd come around for like a sleepover or something, and then I'd be like, he answers questions. Yeah, they'd be like, what? What do you mean? I'll be like, ask him a yes or no question. If he growls, it's a yes. If he doesn't, it's a no. So they were testing it out with things that we just knew to be true, like, is Scarlet a girl? And then he'd be like, oh, it's not working. Okay, it's not happening. But if he sat on the floor or something, if we literally just like pretend to like start to pick him up, he'll be like, he hates it. Like that.
Like furry magic 8 balls.
Literally. See if it works or not now, actually. Yeah, sorry.
That's funny.
You can carry on with whatever. What was I saying? Musical instruments.
Yeah. Your first instrument drums though, or was it piano?
It was piano when I was 6. I started playing piano, and then and I stopped doing it classically. Do you want to get down now? Right, out you go. Sorry. Right,
that's fine. That's absolutely fine. That's hilarious. That is so
mental.
funny.
He's just mental. Anyway, but yeah, piano when I was 6. I played classically up till I was about 14 or 15, and then I sort of stopped, which I kind of regret actually. But yeah, I just sort of taught myself from then on. And yeah, and when I was 8, I started drums. I think it was about 8.
Because I remember that's what I first knew you for, was the drumming, when I saw you drumming at Music Centre or CMI, CMI, mate. CMI.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I used to play percussion, as you know, in orchestras and stuff. But yeah, no, drums was like one of my first instruments. I loved it. I loved playing the drums. I don't really do it that often now, because as you can imagine, there's some really fucking good drummers at Guildhall, and I don't really get a chance to play.
That'll put you off as well.
Yeah. Yeah, no, there's some ridiculous talent at Guildhall. So, and it doesn't put me off playing. It's just I don't really get the opportunity to. I can go and practice. I can go and hire out a practice room and play kit for a bit. But I also don't have time. Really. Yeah,
I imagine that doing a lot of your course takes up a lot of the time.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Is it quite intense? Because at Chichester we were quite relaxed, weren't we? Like we could kind of go about doing the band quite reliably, and also keep up with our uni work. Right. But I imagine at Guildhall it was quite intense. Stuff
well, it is and it isn't, because we only have a couple. We're in like every single day basically. And like, because I know that at uni, like the contact hours are like so different to what they are at conservatoire. Like I'll have some days I'll be in from like, I don't know, 11:30 till like 9 in the evening, like straight through, with rehearsals and classes and stuff. But otherwise, like we also have a lot of time allocated to basically when we're meant to be practicing, or like, well, not allocated to it, but it's put aside. Like a lot of there's like, we have less. Our course is less intense than like the drama course. So like the actors are in like 9 till 6 every single day, like straight through with like 1 hour break. And the technical theatre students are in from 9 till 9 some days. Like it's ridiculously intense for them. But yeah, for us, because we have like to just do our own practice in our own time as well, there's a lot of time set aside for that. But at the same time, sometimes you just don't want practice, do you? So you can just like use that time to just chill out and get this with your mates.
Yeah.
But that's not really what is encouraged to do. But you know, you're a student.
To be fair, Chichester was pretty similar. I mean, we had a few hours of lectures a week, and then
4 hours of lectures.
What? 4 hours? Was that pretty much all your contact hours?
pretty much.
We
got-
had
it was-
one-on-one
Because I
lessons.
don't really know how uni stuff works. So you have like seminars and lectures, right? And like, do you have tutorials and stuff? How often did you have like tutorials?
Oh, I never went to any.
We had to
I
put them
saw
in,
this in
didn't
the
we?
last podcast that you just never fucking went to any of your classes first. Right?
I remember I was given a tutor at the start of the course, right? So first year, freshers year, I was given a tutor. I've never met him. I have no idea what he looks
Who
like.
was it? What was his name?
I was the same.
I can't remember. I've never spoken to him.
Jesus Christ.
Nice.
Oh god, I think our first year was quite different to your like being at like a conservatoire. I think you're encouraged to do a lot more in first year. At the uni that we went to, which is not like
Well,
it's not one of the best unis in the world. I'll
no,
put it
it
that way.
wasn't. But to be fair as well,
but-
if I wanted advice on playing my instrument, I'd go speak to my instrumental teacher. If I wanted advice on one of the lectures that we were doing, I'd go speak to the lecturer.
Mm-hmm.
Now, or if it was something to do with the university, I'd go speak to Ben Hall, the head of music.
Head of music.
I kind of felt like there wasn't really much point in having a tutor because there was so many other people that I'd speak to first that I knew better.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, that's true.
See, I guess it depends on how your course works. Like,
Hmm.
what sort of stuff you have to be submitting or how you're assessed. It's sort of, I don't know, that changes your interaction, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. My biggest sort of taste of uni life, my girlfriend's at Oxford, right? And it's fucking intense.
Mhm.
Like, it is some ridiculous shit. She has a lot of essays to write, like, all the time. And she has basically like she does music at Oxford.
Oh, cool. Okay.
So yeah, but she doesn't really get to do much practical stuff at all. So
No.
she has tutorials all the time and like lectures occasionally. That's pretty much how it works for her.
This is kind of why I chose Tuesday actually, because I nearly went to Southampton, but they have a much more like theory essay based sort of course. And I just thought, for me, I don't personally see the point. If you're going to study music, for me, it's more important to do the practical side of it. Depends
Yeah.
what you want out of it, doesn't it? So
Yeah, definitely.
if you want to go into
100%.
teaching,
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. That's how it should
That's
work.
cool, man.
I was trying to upgrade our Zoom, but it keeps not working.
It's not working. Yeah, we will cut out in a couple of minutes and we'll get another thing going. We'll connect the two
Well,
recordings
say-
as we did in the last one.
why don't we pause here? I'm going to cut it off and then we'll start back up again.
Yeah.
Sick.
Good.
Otherwise, it'll be like mid-sentence again.
Yeah.
All right.
Nice.
All right. Yeah, if you stop it now then.
Cool.
Okay. All right, we're recording.
There we go. Hello again. We thought we'd share this picture of myself and Scarlett from 2016.
Iconic photo.
It's really something. And I've also got this one here of, can you see this one?
No, you're still on the
Oh, how do I share? Okay. How do I share this one?
Go back onto screen share and then open the tab with the latest photo on it.
Oh God, I'm so technologically
Granddad.
challenged.
Oi. Screen shares at the top of the
Oi.
screen, mate.
You challenged in a lot of ways, mate. It's okay.
I think.
Okay,
Oh,
I'm just
there
knocking
we
this
go.
shit there. Right, hang on. I'm gonna. Can you see this one now?
Will looks great in that photo.
Oh, Will is fantastic. Look at him.
Shout out
he's
to
just-
Will Haynes.
He's brilliant. Oh yeah, Will Haynes is currently studying to. Well, he's trained to be a pilot in
New Zealand.
New Zealand. That's the one.
Fair enough.
There you go. So, there you go. That was for rehearsal for back in 2017 when we were gonna play in the Royal Albert Hall, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was fun. That was good
Back
shit.
in the
Man.
days when we just took the absolute piss at the back of the orchestra. Like,
God,
we
like
really-
I don't know if you three will be able to relate to this, but whenever if you're in an orchestra rehearsal, if the percussion section and the brass section really get on, it's not going to be a productive rehearsal because
No
they're
way.
usually the loudest people and the most annoying people.
And because you're at the
And then
back
it's
of the
just-
orchestra, you can get away with just sort of like just fucking
Everything.
around. It's that was bad.
The woodwind and the strings don't get that liberty.
No, unfortunately not. They're all wet wipes anyway, so it's fine.
Oh, that's
No
brilliant.
offense,
Oh, that's
string
funny.
woodwind players.
No, don't justify it. It's brilliant.
All right, I'll leave that out.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that was fun. All the antics.
Good times.
Like, especially on that tour. Do you remember the hostage situation with Andy Rogers' little teddy bear thing, or were you on a separate bus?
Oh, I was on the other bus. Was this were you on the bus where Will was like doing that whole fucking snake thing all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't on that bus, and I'm kind of glad about it. Like in a weird
Oh, it was fun, mate. It was fun. It was great. It was a weird bus to be on.
Yeah,
Okay.
it sounded like it.
Moving swiftly on. Let's talk about Benedict Cumberbatch.
Let's talk about Benedict Cumberbatch. Sure.
Let's talk about Benedict Cumberbatch. So tell us how you met this man. And yeah.
So my teacher at Guildhall, one of my teachers, who's a guitarist and a bassist, is actually the person that's encouraging me and teaching me for free the bass. He's a really great teacher. His name's Stuart Hall, and he's an incredible musician as well. I think one of the best teachers I've ever had, possibly the best teacher I've ever had in my life. He's amazing. And he was commissioned to teach Benedict Cumberbatch the banjo for a role that he was playing in some film. I don't know what it's called. I don't know when it's coming out. I didn't really find out any of this information. But Stuart basically asked me, he was just like, will you come along with me to help teach him and play the acoustic bass in the sessions, just like, I don't know, like two-field country music. And I did. It was so easy, like really easy stuff to play. But I just, basically what I did is I went and sat in Benedict Cumberbatch's house twice next to his BAFTA and played acoustic bass while he tried to learn the banjo. And he gave me whiskey and rosé, and it was lovely.
Amazing.
So
yeah.
You fiddle with Benedict Cumberbatch's banjo string, is what you're telling us.
Yeah. I've been his banjo gimp.
Said.
That was my role. But that was an interesting experience. That was like one of the most surreal moments of my life. Because you think when you meet someone like Benedict Cumberbatch, it would be in a situation where you would be learning from him, or he'd be coming in to do a talk or something. I don't know. You'd meet him in that sort of context. But he was the vulnerable one in this situation. He was the one learning. And I was just watching this whole thing unfold. He was pretty shit at it, I won't lie. He didn't really pick it up very quickly, but he really tried really hard.
I was
And
going
he
to
was
say,
obviously very, very serious about getting this right. So, and he was
was he a good student at least?
Yeah, he was really, really lovely. Like, he worked really hard actually. Well, from what I'm aware of, I'm not sure if he practiced that much after the sessions. I don't fucking know. He wasn't my student, to be fair, but he was a really, really lovely person. Like, he was asking me, he was like, so Scarlet, how's Guildhall going? And I was like, yeah, it's fine. I was like low-key freaking out. And the worst thing about the first session was, oh my god, when we had to leave, I couldn't get my shoes on. So I had to stand up and like put them on, and they weren't like coming on really easily, and I was like, oh my fucking god, I can't get my shoes on. And I couldn't just like sit down in the middle of his hallway and just be like, you know, so I had to like, put them on and like fold the back of them underneath my heel and just walk out looking like that. And I bet you he saw it, he was like, what?
You should have had a little power play and just used his BAFTA as a shoehorn.
Yeah. Do you know what? I should have done that. I'm kicking myself now.
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh, God. Could you imagine what he said if you just started doing that?
Oh, God. No, I can't. he was a really nice guy. But I actually had a conversation with him. Have any of you seen The Crown?
No.
Yes.
Netflix series.
I've seen a couple of episodes, yeah.
Right. So there's like the new series that's come out. It's got a new cast like for to play the older versions of like the Queen and Princess Margaret and all of that. And he was talking to me about Helena Bonham Carter because he was saying he wanted to go and watch The Crown like after the session, and I was like, oh yeah, I've been watching The Crown. And he was like, oh yeah, what do you think? What do you think? And he was like, have you seen Helena Bonham Carter in the new cast? He was like, she has this darkness behind her eyes, which is just like so interesting to watch. And he was like probably going all actor on me, and I was like, oh my god, I didn't know what to say. I was just like, yeah, definitely deep and meaningful atmosphere when she speaks. And I was just sort of, I didn't know what to say. I was just chatting absolute shite to one of the most famous actors in the world after helping him learn the banjo in his house. It was so weird. Everything about it was so fucking weird. But it was great.
That's brilliant though.
Yeah, really
That's
cool.
Amazing.
I loved it. Yeah, it was really cool.
So when Benedict Cumberbatch releases a country album, are you going to claim royalties on that?
Yeah, I'm going to get in touch with my lawyers. Man, come on.
I'd love to
Can't
hear
be
that as
so
well.
cake.
That is a fantastic story. Thank you for sharing that with us.
You're welcome.
Oh, I love it. So, how has lockdown been treating you? I hear you're working on an EP at the moment.
Yeah, kind of. It's up and down because I started this project like a while ago, and I just got in touch with different people saying like, do you want to collaborate? Mainly sort of like electronic musicians at Guildhall, because there's a really talented bunch of people doing that course at Guildhall that know their shit about like production, obviously, and all of that. So yeah, I just got in touch with them, started making new tracks. But right now it's sort of, obviously it's quite difficult to do that. It's in some ways it's more encouraging to do it because you have the time, but it's not like you could just go and like go to somebody's house in their sort of studio and go and just make shit together, because you have to do it one by one, like piece by piece. And I think that's probably like the easiest way to do it. I don't know, I haven't tried it over Zoom, but because like not only one person can screen share anyway, so I guess that's sort of, I don't know.
We've tried a bit of writing over Zoom. It never goes.
Yeah, I can't imagine it being very easy. But so for now I've sort of put that on hold, and done. I'm working on some like sort of Corona collab things. So like I've sent over the music to a couple of my friends that are going to play on a Donald Fagen tune. I don't know if you know who that is, but you should check him out because he's amazing. If you know Steely Dan, part of Steely Dan, and he did an album called The Nightfly, which is, yeah, that's one thing that I'm working on, just a tune from that, which will be really nice, hopefully. And also my function band is doing our own version of Car Wash, which we're going to put out. So look forward to that one.
Wow.
That's brilliant.
Should be good. But yeah, so yeah, it's not really something that's like properly underway at the moment, the EP thing, but it's just something to have outside of all of the uni stuff, which is nice to do it. But yeah, it's hard to keep it going.
Yeah, you got to have a project though at the moment, haven't you? Because you just been sat in the house for this long. You've got to have something.
Yeah, you're going to go mental if you don't. If you're not productive in some way, but it doesn't mean that you have to be productive. I feel like people should stress that a lot, because especially as a musician, like a lot of people are chatting shit about people not producing enough, or like using this time to their advantage. But at the same time, like you can use this time to just totally chill out and have a well-deserved break, you know, and just be able to just have an excuse to just do fuck all. And that's totally fine. And some days I feel like doing that. I feel like doing absolutely nothing, or like just I don't know, doing shit around the house, whatever.
I kind of burnt myself out in the first few weeks because I took it too seriously with like, I've got to improve myself, I've got to do this, got to do that.
I was the same.
I did. I burnt out, and I just like had a couple of days of just doing nothing, and it helped. And I kind of just balanced it out from there. But it's true that a lot of people are, you know, worrying too much that they're not doing, you know, not improving.
And there's no need to worry about that. Like, yeah, this is a good time to try and improve anything that you want to improve, or start working on something that you wanted to work on, you didn't have time to work on. Yeah, sure, but it doesn't mean you have to do it. Like, yeah, that's one thing. I think that it's a lot of people are feeling the pressure a little bit with that. like this is time to shed and get really good at your instrument or whatever. And it's like, doing that anyway, this is a chance to just sort of take a step back from that and just be able to focus on other things, which is really important, I think.
I mean, one of the things that I'm doing over the, well, it's going to be about a couple of weeks' time, is I'm planning on doing a 24-hour drum marathon, which is going to be horrible. I'm playing Nirvana's Nevermind album back to back for 24 hours.
Oh, God.
Which is like, it's not hard, but it's quite upbeat and intense.
Is it for charity or is it?
Yeah. So we're going to do it for the Music Venue Alliance, I think they're called.
Yeah, Save the Venues.
Oh yeah, that's awesome.
Because obviously there's just hundreds of venues across the country that are.
Oh yeah, there's loads of things folding in right now. It's really bad.
Well, already, and I don't think we're going to be able to do major events for sometime next year, probably the first time to go back into it. So yeah, I think it's quite important to try.
It is a shame it's being so ignored.
Yeah, I know.
Not to get all political, but it is getting entirely ignored.
Yeah, I guess it's hard, isn't it? Balancing act, because there's so much stuff to consider that's happening at the moment. It's like,
of course, yeah.
Where do you start?
Definitely, yeah. It's just sad to see that things like this require charity, but obviously there's loads of different things to think about in this situation that need taken care of. But like, I don't know if have any of you seen Fleabag, the TV show?
Oh, I haven't been meaning to, but I haven't.
Right.
No.
It's like one of my favorite things I've ever seen on TV. Like, it is amazing. And the girl that writes it and stars in it, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, it all came out of this one-woman play that she did at Edinburgh Fringe, and then it was made into a TV show. And basically the National Theatre recorded a run of the play that she did in London, and she's released it for everyone to watch if they give a minimum donation of like £4, and all of the money goes towards like helping theatre survive and helping performers like maintain some sort of financial stability during this time, which is really cool. Like, loads of people have been doing loads of really awesome charity work for it.
Yeah, it's just good because I think we're all lucky because you guys all teach, which is fine because you can carry on doing it over Skype and stuff. But like I know there's a lot of musicians that most of their income comes from gigging, and it's like Francis, who we were talking to last week, his bulk of his income comes from busking around London, and now he's like, what are you going to do? It's tough.
That's really tough.
Yeah, but hopefully it'll get better.
Mental time at the moment, isn't it?
Mad times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I put it down all that, didn't
I?
Yeah. No, it's cool.
Someone tell a joke.
Tom's hair.
My lesbian haircut. So what I've been interested to kind of ask you is the whole vocal balance thing, which obviously that's what we were saying on Instagram the other day. Just looks pretty cool. Is that a family thing, or are you taking part in it?
Not really. It's something that's been founded by my parents together. It's a vocal technique, which is mainly used within the field of like musical theatre, but it's not just designed for musical theatre singers in that genre. It's a way of singing healthily. But they do teach like a bunch of different genres, different people from different professions. But yeah, vocal balance is a technique, I guess. And basically each week we do, as a family, because now obviously we're all here together, we're doing this warm-up session thing where we do vocal warm-ups, vocal exercises for people to follow along to live, take notes from, whatever they can take from it. But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's a technique which focuses on the balance in your voice.
Yeah. it looked cool, and my eyes were kind of drawn straight away to, were they like custom water bottles you had? Or,
Right.
it looked like almost a brand you had brought out. I was like,
No, it
pretty
does sort of
sweet.
look like that. But I think we just all like Chili's water bottles.
Oh, the Chili's ones.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, fair.
Yeah, they're great. Good water bottles. Little plug there.
We thought this was a side hustle that you're just making water bottles as well, you know.
But yeah, no, we use these vocal tubes as well, which I'm sure you probably saw.
Yeah.
Which are like straws used for straw therapy, which is a really strange thing within vocal technique, but it makes all the difference. So that's a good thing to plug as well. Give that a go.
Yeah, I went on Instagram the other day because my sister, she does it's like a food nutrition page she started up, and she had taken my metal straw and just like chucked it into one of her smoothies, and like I saw this on Instagram, and like it's this metal like foldable one, and I was just like, Liz, it goes in my mouth, what are you doing? But
I just blow air down that all the time.
Yeah,
Take it
exactly.
out, fucking smoothie.
Yeah, well, her loss, you know, she probably didn't wash it, so
Oh God.
all the funds there.
Scrumptious.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Cool.
God knows what she's caught off
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. So some of you might recognise Scarlet from a couple of videos that you've been on with us. You've played with us several times now. There was one thing we did which was like a year and a half ago, which was in a studio session, which never came out because we never got the audio back.
That doesn't even surprise me though.
Still coming.
Waiting.
Next week it will land in our inbox, promise.
Oh, that's funny. And then you also played with us live on BBC, introduced you, which was great. There's which tracks did we put up on YouTube, Tom?
Foreign words.
And tropical.
And tropical.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, just thought I'd mention that.
Was it both of them? Was it Borrowed Words and Tropical that you put up? Or was it just
Yeah.
both of them?
Yeah, we did put up. Which we did play some other songs, but I don't think they got put up onto YouTube.
I don't think we could afford to send them to our producer to get them mixed properly.
Oh right.
So we just picked the two favourite
Fair
ones
enough.
and whack them up.
The hustle is real.
Oh, definitely.
Fair
No,
enough.
that's good.
Those are some bangers though. Those two. Great songs. I like playing
thanks.
on them. You're welcome.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah, they're great.
Cool. Yeah, wicked. Unless there's anything you want to tell us and plug about. Oh, there is one thing we do need you to do. We do this thing of when whoever we have on the podcast has to name the podcast, the episode.
Oh God. Okay, this is a lot of pressure. Put me on the spot.
Can be whatever you want.
Well, what ones have we had so far? We've had This Is Not a Podcast, It's a Vodcast.
It's a vodcast.
by Adam Swain.
5 guys talk absolute bollocks for just over an hour.
Yeah.
That's one.
And what was the last one? It was
Dealing with Zoom and drinking lots of coffee.
Right.
there you go.
I want to say Tom's lesbian haircut.
Yeah.
I don't know, I just found that really funny.
I was going to say tickling my furry magic 8-ball until it growls.
That's great as well. I'm fine with either of those.
Oh God.
While strumming a banjo.
Or strewing Benedict's banjo.
Oh Christ. Endless. You guys take what you want from that. You can name it whatever.
You come up with a final name for it. Oh no. Right. Okay, I think we've covered quite a lot on this, and it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, Scarlett.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's been cool.
Oh, I wanted to ask you guys a question.
Go
Go
on.
on then.
You've got new music coming out, right?
Yep.
When?
Ooh.
It's
Just less than 3 weeks' time.
12 days.
Oh, how exciting.
I know.
great. Okay, I just wanted to know.
Pre-save it.
Will do. Everybody who's watching this, fucking pre-save it.
Well, I tell you what, get Benedict Cumberbatch to pre-save it.
Yeah, I'll just text him. I've got his number.
Yeah.
Hey, Benny.
Yeah.
Can you just do me a favour?
Hey, Big Ben, do you want to save?
I'll
Do you want to
give you
save
a
this?
back to back.
Big Ben in this banjo.
Oh no.
Anyway,
That's brilliant.
on that
Right.
note,
On that note,
thank you for having me. It's been
thank
fun.
you.
Thank you
It's
very
been
much.
great. Yeah.
Until
Are you gonna stop
next
recording,
time.
Seb, or is this just we're gonna be like this for the next?
This is it. Goodbye.
This is it.
Goodbye, everybody.